Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, I will be presenting the philosophy of man of Socrates and Plato. In, in my presentation, I will not be separating Plato and Socrates because I personally believe that both of them share the same philosophy. So I cannot speak of one without the other. So, what is the philosophy of man of Socrates and Plato? When we speak of the philosophy of man, we are referring to what man truly is in the eyes of these two philosophers. Or what is the nature of man? Or how is it to live a life of being truly human? For Socrates and Plato, the human person is the soul. What does that mean? For Socrates and Plato, the human person is not composed of body and soul. The body is only a receptacle or a container of the soul or of man. Thus, in this discussion, I'll be interchangeably using the soul and man. So again, for Socrates and Plato, the human person or man is simply the soul and not the body. So this is the dualism of Socrates and Plato. They see reality in two different worlds. One, the spiritual or the real. The other is the material and the unreal. The body belongs to the material and the unreal, while the soul, which is man, belongs to the spiritual and to the real world. So that's the separation of body and soul in the philosophy of Socrates and Plato. Another very important point in their philosophy of man is that the soul is by nature spiritual, or man is by nature spiritual. When you say spiritual, not material, not characterized by the properties of matter or the characteristics of corporeal entities. And this soul has pre-existence to the body. In other words, it existed before the body. And where did it exist? It existed in the world of ideas or the world of forms. The world of ideas or the world of forms is for Plato the real world. And this world is not one with the material or physical universe. It is a metaphysical. It is a transcendent world or universe. And it is somewhere out there, outside the physical universe. We just don't know where. But both thinkers believe that such a world exists. And that for them is the real world. So, in the world of ideas, the soul already saw the ideas or the forms. And ideas and forms for Socrates and Plato are the real essences of things. They are the mold or the template or the prototypes or the models from which all these things in the physical universe are copied. For Socrates and Plato, all the things in this physical universe, in this material world, are not really that valuable, are not important because they are just copies or replicas or shadows of the real world, which is the world of ideas. So what is important for them are the true essences, the ideas and the forms. And the soul or man had the privilege to coexist with these ideas, with these forms, the real things. And in his or her prior existence, he or she has already personally witnessed or seen or contemplated these ideas. And a time came that the soul fell into this material universe and entered into a body. That's why the soul has pre-existence over the body. And it's very sad to know that for Socrates and Plato, the body is not as important as the soul. It is an inferior entity. In fact, it is merely a receptacle or a container of man. And worse, it is considered as a prison cell. It's an obstacle, it's a yoke that needs to be taken away or removed to liberate man or the soul. So, the goal of life of man is actually to liberate the soul or from the man from his container, from the body. And the liberation of the soul or man from that body would mean death. That is why for Socrates and Plato, death is not something negative but rather something positive, because it's all about emancipation or liberation of the soul from the body, which is a good thing. In other words, one of the goals of the life of man is the liberation of the soul. So every day, man has to practice or work for the liberation of his soul. The liberation of the soul would entail renunciation of the body, of the desires of the body, of the wants of the body, and in fact, the challenge to the needs of the body, the cravings of the body. So that makes man or his life meaningful if one aims for liberation or work hard every day for the liberation of the soul. This would also mean that man by nature is not mundane, but destined to be with the ideas or the forms, or to be with the world of ideas. So this philosophy of man of Plato is full of hope and very similar to our Christian belief, because we believe in the afterlife. Both Socrates and Plato believe in the afterlife, in the eternal existence of the world of forms, where the soul naturally belongs and destined to live or to be with. And Plato and Socrates also talk about the parts of the soul. So for them, the soul or the human soul or man has three parts. We have the rational part, which is situated in the head. We have the spirit or the will, which is situated at the breast, or somewhere in the middle of the body, or the heart. Then the appetitive part of the soul. This is the sensual part of the soul. It is located at the abdomen. And they are arranged according to how the soul governs himself or herself. For Socrates and Plato, the ideal life is when the rational soul governs or takes charge over the other parts of the soul. And this is what they call justice of the soul or harmony of the soul. And this justice and harmony of the soul is the ideal way of living, where the soul of man is governed by his rational faculty or part. And being governed by the rational part would mean that man is able to think and pursue the truth and the good. So this implies that for Socrates and Plato, man is by nature good. To be human is to be virtuous, that is, to know the truth and the good and pursue or choose them by all means. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching and listening to this episode. That is the philosophy of man by Socrates and Plato in a nutshell. Please click like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And see you soon in our next episode. Happy New Year.